Right, back on the Civic. Gonna try and get the bars in that go along here and on the windscreen here. I've got the main hoop actually tacked in, parallel both sides, and there's tilting back 3 degrees towards the back of the car. This is what it says in the book to do. So the next thing is to do is put the bar in here and line it up, cut it to the right length. And I've got this contour gauge here, so I can roughly find out where I want it to go. Sort of slip it on there like that, and it'll give you the rough shape of the tube and the angle, and you can just grind it in there from there. I've got the main pillar tube bent up, and I put the contour on the end there, ground it on ever so slightly. Still need to do a little bit more to it, but now it's in the car sitting on the cage. I've got a little bit of a gap here, so I'm going to go take 5 degrees off it like that, so it just sits level with the plate on the floor, and hopefully I can tack it in. Right, what I've done is I actually cut the main hoop out, rebent it and started it again, because I was never happy with how it sits. It was sitting up here, it was sitting way too far away from the roof. The hoop would come up here and bend along here and out, so I've cut that out, restarted it and done it again. I've got tacked in now, all main bars tapped into, running down here. This one here runs up here. So what I'm going to do now is fully weld all 4 of the joints out, and then I can move on to doing the back 2 bars. I forgot to say as well, what I'm actually going to be doing is TIG welding the cage in. I'm not going to MIG weld it because, in my opinion, it doesn't look very nice. So it just gives me that incentive to get the fit ups just that little bit better, to be able to weld in properly. So yeah, we'll start welding. Right, got the bars all welded in. Well, the bars that I've done so far, sitting all the way along there. You can see that. TIG welded in around there, down there, and down there. It's a nightmare to weld around the back of the plates, but I got it done. The next thing to do is probably put the bar that goes from here to here, get that one in, harness bar, and the 2 bars that go from the back of the hoop to the back plate down there, and carry on from there. Got the top bar in here. Just cut it to length, notched it, and then pushed it up. It wasn't too bad to do because obviously it's a handed, so the contour this side, same as that side. So literally just put the gauge on it, mark this end, and then spin the gauge 180 and 180 this way. And it's exactly the same that way. Just pushed it up and tacked it in place. Next bar I'm going to do is, well, these 2 back bars here. The one goes from the middle of this plate, which is probably the strongest part, up to the back of the bar here. So that's what I'm doing now. Got this bar cut. I've cut it. Probably about 20 mil, well, half the size of the tube longer, so it gives me enough room to notch it to this tube, and obviously notch it to the chassis there. But it's not too bad of a notch down there, but again, I'll be using the contour gauge just to roughly get my shape and do the grinder from there. Right, I've got this bars in here notched, done that side. I've got this one shaped for that down there. I've got this one here notched to the angle of the tube I'm going to take now. So I just pulled the cage forward a tiny bit, just get it down a little bit lower. But that should drop in there like that. That should drop in there like that. Something like that. And tackle all that and weld it out. What I've done is to keep it symmetrical, I just took points off the car really, like the same. So I've done from here to the end of that tube to there, 50 mil. From there, so that tube 50 mil, try and keep it all looking symmetrical, well, the best I can, and that's what it looks like from out back. Doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Centre bar in, 2 rear bars. Just got to do dash bar now, harness brace, and probably an X brace across the top. But yeah, it's coming along. Next thing I'll do is strip all this down, keep the wiring I need, delete all the wiring I don't need, because obviously I can't put any of this back in now because there's going to be a bar going from end to end where this one used to sit. So I've took the skin off the dash. Obviously I'll keep the dash skin. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of all the airbag wiring, and obviously I've got to cut all the column out and, well, remount the column to the new bar. But yeah, it's not one of my favourite jobs to do, but it's got to be done. This is what I've done with the dash. I've cut the original bar off. Obviously that original bar will come up to about here, just so I can get the steering column position on the roll cage bar. But I've took all the loom out, trying to separate some bits I don't need, and what I do need. That's all the airbag stuff, so I don't need that. And the rest of it, I'm just going to have to put in the car and work out what goes where and get rid of it from there on. Obviously the only thing I really need is lights, indicators, brakes, obviously the ignition and stuff like that, but hopefully be able to get rid of most of it and make it a bit more tidy. Right, what I've done here is I've cut the dash bar up, the stock one, so I can get the placement of the steering column So obviously I need to put a bar between this pillar and this pillar here. But what I am going to do is once I've made the bar and bent it all up, I'm going to remove the welds from this here so I can still bolt this plate here to the chassis, and then also I can bolt the dash back in. I've already done that side actually. I've cut the welds off the tube so I can bolt the dash back in, and it'll hold a couple of plugs down there. But I'm going to try and simplify the loom as best as I can so there's not wires everywhere. But yeah, hopefully should look pretty smart when it's done. Another thing I've done since in between two of the roll cages, I've relocated the fuse box up behind the scuttle panel. It used to sit behind there, and all the wires used to sit quite close to the turbo. I never used to like seeing it there anyway. But yeah, makes the bay look a hell of a lot smarter, I think. And to be fair, they only have to extend like 2 or 3 wires to get it up through there, and the rest of it, all I did is put a hole saw through the underneath there of the scuttle, and the wires all reached up through, made a couple of little mounts there. For about a couple of hours work, it just tidies the whole bay up, makes it look a lot nicer. Right, I've got the dash bar fully bent out, welded in. All good. The next thing I'm on to now is trying to mount the steering column. What I've done is I've cut the old one out, the old dash bar, for a minute. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use, if I'm going to get a universal one or run this one. I mean, if it was good enough for Honda to use, it was good enough for me to use. Also, I'd have to shape it a bit better and put some plating at the top. Or I'm thinking about mounting some tabs to here and bolting it in 4 places. Well, 2 places either side. But yeah, I mean, that's just got a tack on it, and let's be honest, that ain't going anywhere anyway. But if I can sort that out, get the steering wheel in, then I can sort of put the seats in, and then build the door bars, and then do the harness bar at the back here, and go from there.